Hi, I'm Natalie from Kaikata Estates, and today we're talking about travel. So, summer holidays appear to be on hold for this year, and there are a lot of questions going around about when we'll next be able to travel, when we'll be able to get back on planes and travel abroad. And certainly when we can travel again, I think there will be quite a few people looking to have quite a special holiday to make up for being grounded this year. So I'm here today with Sally Murray from Travel Counsellors, who's going to give us some top tips and the latest advice on how to book, when to book, and her destination recommendations. Hi, Sally.
Great. Hi, Natalie. Thank you.
So,
yeah, you're right. Definitely a different world in travel at the moment. I'm working through lots of changes and amendments into sort of later on into this year and into next year at the moment. And I think having spent lots of time on that over the last couple of months, obviously getting to know the suppliers that we can work with that have the flexibility that sits around that as well. But yeah, I would definitely say the majority of what I've been working through is moving it into either later this year, like December, or going past December into 2021, which is a point where a lot more people are maybe feeling a lot more comfortable to make plans for at the moment. There's a strong desire to travel once we get out of this situation, and to make sure that it is an experience that is potentially making up for what a lot of people have missed out on this year. So they want to make it bigger, special, more memorable. I'm currently working on a revised honeymoon plan for somebody at the moment. So there's some nice green shoots of new inquiries and new bookings coming through at the moment as well. So that's for the Maldives in December. I think touching on the Maldives that I just mentioned then, from the honeymoon point of view, the Indian Ocean in the whole situation that we're going through at the moment was fairly lightly impacted. So I think going forward, and having visited the Seychelles myself at the beginning of last year, which was absolutely stunning and a dream destination and out of this world, so lucky to have experienced somewhere like that. I would definitely recommend the Indian Ocean, and the trip that we did to the Seychelles involved going to Mahe, the main island, and then we island hopped. So we actually went over to Praslin as well. So we did a little internal flight over to Praslin. So we stayed 3 nights in Mahe, went over to Praslin for 4 nights. And whilst we were in Praslin, we've got the boat over to La Digue as well, which is one of those iconic beach picture perfect destinations. But we hired a bike, had a little explore around the island. So it's a fantastic destination for some island hopping. What it's also great for is as a twin centre destination, so you could tag it on the end of a safari experience in South Africa or Kenya or somewhere like that as well, which I did put together for somebody last year who one of my clients did exactly that last year. They did a private game reserve in South Africa with their own little plunge pool on their lodge. Wow. And then flew off to the Seychelles afterwards for relaxation and a bit of the Indian Ocean and that beautiful turquoise blue sea. So that great twin centre option, definitely. Bit of both, I think, a bit of adventure and a bit of relaxation, if that's what people are looking for. Highly recommend it. Or maybe a bit closer to home. If anyone wanted to go close to home, somewhere that I went to last year, which I would go back to again, and I've actually last year organised quite a lot of itineraries for, was Croatia. And we stopped in Dubrovnik. It's been obviously popular with the whole Game of Thrones films. The beauty of Croatia, I think, for a destination closer to home, is it's got quite a lot to offer. So it's got the cities, it's got all the little islands that you could island hop down through, and it's also in the north got the lakes and the scenery. So it's got a bit of everything, and it allows for itineraries to be created to suit you as an individual, which I think is quite key when it comes to being creative with itinerary planning, which is what I love to do. But yeah, we had some fun. We went kayaking, we went on buggy safari rides, we went on boat trips, all in a long weekend in Dubrovnik, and that was without doing all the island hopping that I've arranged for some of my customers that have fed back some amazing photos and stories. So that's great too. Yeah.
One of the topics I've heard coming up lately is that as and when restrictions are lifted, and I think we know now it will be quite gradual, but when restrictions are lifted enough for people to jump on our holidays, they might take a last minute break down to Spain, the Canary Islands, something like that. The expectation is that there'll be high demand, but also high availability because holidays have stopped. Do you think that will be the case in terms of booking those last minute getaways if later on this year?
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right, Ev. I think everybody is probably going to, well, not everybody, I think a majority will either plan ahead and look into the future and plan in advance. And I think that side of the coin, I think that is absolutely possible because a lot of airlines are releasing their schedules earlier, like EasyJet, British Airways, they're bringing their schedules out much further in advance than they have done before, which allows for people to book further in advance. But for later on in the year, which was your question, was more around sort of booking things last minute. I think we just need to be realistic that some of the airlines are going to be cutting their capacity, so there's potentially going to be less capacity and a high demand. So what those prices look like, only time will tell, I think. But I would definitely be advising people to, if they can, plan in advance. That's not obviously feasible for everybody with the current situation. I appreciate that. But yeah, there's going to be things there, and there's going to be things for us to arrange. And I think at the point that we know when we can make those plans, then absolutely start to make those plans, and then we can look at what options are open to people.
So for people wanting to stay closer to home, as in within the UK or destinations within the UK that you'd recommend?
Yeah, I think the UK market, I think, will be very, very high. Actually, I think there will be a lot of people, like you say, that will perhaps from a low risk point of view probably want to stay closer to home and not step foot on an aeroplane, which is completely understandable. I've been able to arrange in the past, and I can still do that, anything from your absolute gorgeous luxury lodge in the middle of nowhere with your own private hot tub or jacuzzi. So if you're wanting to self-isolate in a nice luxury lodge, that's absolutely fine. We could arrange that.
I was wondering actually the other day if the same situation will apply to France and Belgium, for example, because you don't need to get on a plane to get there.
Yeah, so the ferry, and jumping on a ferry service, a ferry operator, or the trains over to France, Belgium. Yeah, and also there's lots of self-catering options. So if people are preferring to go along the route of self-catering, then absolutely, yeah, we could arrange that as well. If everyone's wanting to be a little bit more independent and focusing on areas where there's perhaps less people, yeah.
I understand you have a magazine which I'll put the link up to afterwards. So for anyone looking for inspiration for something special they haven't done before, different itineraries, different destinations, I had a look at that yesterday actually, and it's so really lovely to look at pictures of all these wonderful foreign places we can't go to now, but the day will come. And we find ourselves, I think, in an unprecedented situation, much like with the Icelandic volcano, where all bets are off and travel plans have gone into complete disarray. And are we covered by acts of God? And do our insurance cover it? And things like that. So for anybody now, of course, we're aware again of this, how this sort of situation can impact our travels. How would you recommend they move forward in terms of booking to avoid a situation where they're left high and dry in terms of a refund or a company going under or needing to reschedule their travel?
Yeah, I mean, the advice I would give would be to just check everything that you're booking and what the terms and conditions are, and just look for terms and conditions that are flexible. and if you're paying a deposit, for example, that you don't necessarily get yourself into a non-refundable situation right from the offset, that you've got that flexibility right up until much closer to the departure date, and look at that for every part of what you're booking, which is how we're working now, with much more flexibility, so that it gets you nearer to that travel date, so that you've got scope for making amendments and changing plans should you want to or need to.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sally. That was really useful. I will be putting up the link for the magazine, for Sally's Travel Counsellor magazine with recommended destinations. It's even just to look at because it's beautiful. I'd recommend it. And also Sally's contact details if you're looking for any information on future travels or would like to get anything but look forward to for next year. Thanks very much, Sally.
Great, lovely. Thank you, Nat. Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.